Oh, hello everybody, my name is Robert Hine. This is a really crappy video. If you're into really crappy videos, you come to the right place. So, as we left off with this, we left off with her thoughts, but like nothing she had ever felt before. So let's get started. This time I'll try to keep inside the characters. Alright. Let's begin. Placing the ragged patches of skin down, Pinky selected a large butcher knife and walked behind the blue Pegasus. Hope you don't mind, I think I'm gonna wing it now. Pinky laughed. She grabbed Dash's left wing in her mouth and played with it for a few seconds, yanking it back so the sharp pain reignited the fire in Dash's flanks. Then, stretching the wing out, Pinky brought the blade down hard at the base. Instantly, Dash screamed and thrashed her appendage. The movement threw off Pinky's aim, so she hit the mark again, but missed and carved a huge slice into Dash's back. Dash, you gotta stay still, or I'll keep missing. That was more Applejack, I'm sorry, scolded Pinky as her friend howled. Pinky took another whack and hit her target. She swung again and again. Blood sprayed into the air, but Pinky really realized she wasn't getting anywhere. The blade just wasn't going through the bone. I guess I forgot to sharpen it. I'll try something else, stated Pinky, matter-of-factly, as she tossed the knife over her shoulder, embedding the blade in the table. Through the haze of pain and tears, Dash heard the sound of metal box opening and closing. Got it! Say, Dash, why do they call it a hacksaw? It doesn't hack. Hacking is what I was doing with the knife. This is a saw. I don't get it. Pinky placed the tool over the mangled flesh of the last attempt. Standing on her hind legs, she worked the saw back and forth with her front hooves. The slice effortlessly through the bone and skin. The feeling of the jagged teeth grinding into her made Dash want to vomit. She watched numbly as her wing flew over her head and landed in a fluff on the table. Pinky moved to the next wing and started sawing. Dash didn't struggle this time. She'd given up trying to fight and focused on choking back screams of agony. Abruptly, the sawing stopped. Pinky was only halfway done, the wing hanging off by a sliver. Hey, Dash! Pinky piped up. Think fast! Suddenly, Suddenly, Pinky yanked the wing as hard as she could. The bone snapped, but the blue pony's skin held, then tore away. The pole ripped away a long strip of flesh all the way down Dash's back to her rump. Her body seized at the unexpected trauma as her pelvis tensed up. Dash felt a warm release between her legs, and her loud, unending melody of pain filled the room. Unable to catch her breath, she bucked out. Dash woke with a gasp. The stench of her urine filled her mucus-caked nostrils. Oh, God. As her vision swam into focus, she saw a very pouty Pinkie Pie removing a large adrenaline needle from her chest. Stomping her hooves, the frustrated Pinky lashed out at the helpless victim. Didn't anybody teach you any manners? It's very rude to fall asleep when someone invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came over to your house and went to sleep? Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're so boring. I think I'll take a nap. You think I like always doing this by myself? I told you how excited I got when I found you were next. I was excited to have a friend to be here with me while I worked. But no, you got to go be inconsiderate. Well, now, I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I've had full stand-up better than you. Do I have to baby you, huh? Is that what you want me to remember you as? A baby? As Pinky stopped to catch her breath, Dash blinked and sobbed softly. Her back was in agony, her sides were on fire, and there was an intense pain in one of her legs. As she blinked again, she saw Pinky pop something red into her mouth and began to chew. Noticing Dash's stare, Pinky quickly gulped the morsel down. What? Pinky asked. Oh, this? She held up another piece. Well, Well, while you were asleep, I got a little impatient and helped myself to a small sample. I got it from your leg. You're not bad. Want to try some? Oh, man! Without waiting for a response, Pinky shoved the strip of meat into the revolted Pegasus pony's mouth. Dash gagged and immediately spit it out. Pinky frowned and picked up the chunk of flesh. If you don't want it, you could have... If you didn't want it, you could have said so. Said no. So, contemplated the discarded snotty morsel, then gulped it down. It's not like you haven't had my cupcakes before. Swallowing, Pinky turned her attention to a small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with red-hot coals. Lying on top of the coals were several large nails, and positioned it at the same between her victim's front leg and hoof. Then she grabbed a hammer and carefully took aim. Oh no! Oh no! No, Pink! Whoops, hold on. No, Pinky! Dash screamed. No! No! Sorry. The hammer came down and the nail punctured Dash's skin. The white-hot burning was too much. Dash screamed as she pulled and thrashed at the braces, causing her raw skin to rub and tear. Pinky tried to line up another nail, but couldn't find her aim, and let out a frustrated grunt. When Pinky brought the hammer back to take a wild swing, Dash burst out crying and begging, "Please stop! Please! Please stop!" Pinky rolled her eyes, putting down the hammer and tongs. She walked back in front of her friend and stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she had a live parasite stuffed down her throat. Pinky thought for a moment about what to do next, then had a sudden spark of inspiration. God, I'm so sorry. Oh, I forgot the voice! Dang it! Rotating a wheel on the rack, Pinky laid Dash on her back, then moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. Picking up her tools, Pinky drove a searching hot spike of metal directly into the bottom of Dash's hoof. As Dash yelled in pain, Pinky moved around and drove a second nail into the other hoof. Next, Pinky went back to her cart and located an enormous battery and controller, which she dragged over to where she was working. She tied copper wires between the terminals and the nails driven into Dash's hooves, then gave Dash a wink and flipped the switch. I don't want to know what's happening. Oh, man. Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Her body seized and her muscles snapped taut. Dash's hips thrust skyward. Her eyes rolled back and she let out a deep throat-shredding cry. Pinky giggled and danced in place, then reached down and turned up the juice. Dash convulsed uncontrollably and her bladder emptied once more. Ugh. After about 5 minutes, Pinky shut off the power. Wisp of steam rose from the singed fur around Dash's hooves, and the area reeked of cooked flesh and burnt enamel. Pinky rotated Dash upright and tried snap the drilling. Delirious pony back to attention. Dash! Dash! Rainbow Dash! Wake up! Dash moaned and managed to give a modicum of weak acknowledgement. I hope I said that right. Pinky studied her handiwork. Then, reached into the medicine bag and produced a large syringe. Alright, time for the last round. Dash focused clearly on the needle, which Pinky took as a question as to what it was. This is a little something to take the pain away, Pinky informed Dash as she walked around her victim's ruined back. Dash flinched as Pinky jabbed the needle into the lower part of the blue pony's spine. Moving in front of her friend again, Pinky leaned down and elaborated. In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your ribcage. Then, you'll be able to stay awake to watch the harvest. What's the harvest? Dash started to cry again. Pinky, she choked out. Yeah? I want to go home, Dash sobbed. Yeah, I can see you. I can see you wanting to do that, replied the party pony. Sometimes I just want to give up. Just say, I'm done with this mess and go to bed. But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life. Dash hung her head and cried. Minutes passed as the drug took effect. Eventually, Dash was completely numb from her chest to her flanks. At this point, Pinky approached the scalpel, glancing at Dash, and made a long vertical cut down Dash's stomach, conducting the first two. Looks like I got my eye on you, Dash. Looks like I got my eye on you, Dash. I'm sorry, this is messed up. This is gory, but that was funny. Pinky giggled. With a moist, gooey sound, the flaps of skin opened. The sight of her own organs and the lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. I mean, oh, no way! Really? Pinky carefully sliced open Dash's abdominal sac and grabbed her large intestines. As she separated the organ from the rest of their digestive tract and pulled it out of the new cavity, Pinky grew joyfully. Laughing as she gutted her friend, Pinky began to make jokes. Dash, growing weaker from this new source of blood loss, tried desperately to shut out the macabre comedy act. Look at me! I'm Rarity! Pinky laughed, slinging the intestinal tube around her neck and spraying blood in all directions. Isn't my new scarf so pretty? Reaching back inside, she sliced the smaller intestines off from the bowl. Bowels. Yeah, bowels. Squeezing out the excess excrement, Pinky filed the slimy organ through her teeth and dragged it back and forth. Dentists say you gotta floss every day, Dash. Oh. Dash was barely aware of what was going on anymore. The shock was causing her to fade. Disappointed, Pinky dived back into the blue pony's guts, ramping up her routine. Aw, don't go yet, Dash. Pinky started pulling out the rest of Dash's organs, pausing with each removal. I know I can be a real pancreas, but you know I'm just kidding with you. You really gotta learn to liver it up. Boy, these jokes are getting bladder. Guess you gotta develop a stomach for them. Pinky placed her discarded body parts into a bucket, keeping the last one for a bit longer. Ooh, bagpipes, she said, placing the end of Dash's esophagus into her mouth, and the stomach in... Oh, man. And the stomach in her armpit. She squeezed and spurt of acid hit her tongue. Ew! Hey, look, there's your cupcake, Dash. Dash didn't hear her tormentor. She had slipped from consciousness minutes ago. Pinky, not yet satisfied, hit Dash with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time, her heart pounding. Warm blood flowed out from the wound in her chest in great spurts. It wouldn't be long now. And I'm gonna end it there. I think the next part would be the last part. I want to go ahead and say that. It seems like it's getting to the end. Well, that was that video. My name was Robert Hine. You obviously enjoyed this video because you stuck around to the end. There's nothing else to say, but watch out for the most likely medallion of cupcakes. I will see all you in the ending.